Russell Myers, who is royal editor at the Daily Mirror. Russell, thank you so much for joining us here. And I've got to ask, just how damaging do you expect these interviews and the book to be to the royal family?
Well, good evening, James. Well, first of all, I love your exuberance because I think a lot of people are feeling like it's Groundhog Day with Harry, sort of bemoaning his previous life with the royal family. But here we are. I mean, just weeks after the Netflix special 6 hours of him and Meghan, giving their version of events, we have another 2 promos just days before this book is coming out, and I definitely do think it will be explosive because people on the inside who know the ghostwriter, J.R. Mowringer, know that it will be very, very searingly honest. I think that there's been certain reports about that Harry may not cross the line with the king, but his brother will come in for a bit of a roasting. I think the relationship between them is certainly at rock bottom. Many people suggesting now that it will never be able to recover, and I think it shows just how far in the gutter that relationship is because of certain things that Harry and Meghan have said that there probably will be no reparation at all for them.
But surely, I mean, how much more can there be? How much more dirty laundry can there be to air? And I mean, how much of this is just sour grapes for the fact that Harry is the second and his brother was the firstborn, and that's just sort of how things work in a royal family?
Well, I think that's certainly the feeling. That's certainly the feeling within the Buckingham Palace camp that they're completely weary of Harry and Meghan's gripes, their groans about their life within the royal family. Let's not forget that they have pretty much got what they wanted. They wanted to leave the royal family. They wanted a half in, half out arrangement that they were told that wouldn't and couldn't work. However, they have left. They're living a wonderful life in California. They've earned tens, if not hundreds, of millions of dollars in the corporate world through Netflix and Spotify. And yet here we are once again doing only as though they know how and pretty much slamming the royal family, who they know will not be able to respond publicly. And it's a pretty one-sided affair at the moment.
And I mean, how can the royal family respond when so much of the language that they use is this adopted Californian language of sort of therapy culture and things like that, when the royals will always be arguing with that stoic arm tied behind their back?
Well, you look at the language used, and I think not just in these small clips that we've seen, but this is what Harry and Meghan have been doing. They've been talking in sound bites. You're talking about them being painted as the villains. I mean, every soap opera does need a sort of a good side and a bad side, and that is exactly the sort of language that Harry is tapping into. Also talking about silence is betrayal. I mean, whether he knows or not, I mean, perhaps I'm giving him too much credit, but he definitely knows that if he keeps on this track, it's going to be picked up, filling the front pages themselves, even though he's bemoaning his treatment from the British media and beyond. And it seems as though this is just the tap that Harry and Meghan have, and it's the only reason they have to make an awful lot of money, and they're carrying on, keeping on, as it were.